I heard that there is going to be a child tax fund, earn tax. I haven't gotten it in a long time, so I don't know.
Child tax credit.
And it's a pilot, so it's not something at the moment that is a permanent thing. It's a pilot. And explain to our community what that means.
So the child tax credit is for people who have children 18 and under, where they increased the child tax credit now to kids to be $3,600. Upon that, what they're doing is cutting a check early. So it's a pre-credit that you're receiving, which you're mailing out to people in a roughly amount of $1,600 that people might have received yesterday or should be receiving in the next couple of days. If you have a child who's 4 and under, there's additional $600 bump. Most of Americans should be receiving that direct deposit within the next, either yesterday or within the next coming weeks and months and days. And they're going to be direct deposit unless they do not have your banking and routing number for you. Oh. If that's the case, they're going to actually have to mail it to you. And they have that by, if you have filed, when you file your taxes, if you got a tax refund, or you gave them a payment, they have that on file for themselves.
So if somebody is living below the poverty line and not doing taxes, but yet we know these are our communities that have children that are living in poverty, how will they benefit from this?
They should go to the IRS, let them know about it, register, give their information, and a check will be mailed to them. A regular check will be mailed to them directly. If you have moved in the last year or two, then you haven't filed taxes as well, I would recommend you go to IRS so they have your information so it doesn't get mailed off to your old home and you never receive that check.
Yes. So this is important, folks, and this is important for you to share in your context in any place that you are. And I hope that the faith-based community will pick up on this, particularly our communities of color, where we know where people are living under the poverty line and they maybe didn't have taxes or they move frequently to accommodate Section 8 and all of these kinds of things. Get the information out, because if they contact the IRS, make sure they have the correct address, give them the correct information about the number of children that they are in their care, they can benefit from this pilot. And I know Mrs. Yellen from the U.S. Treasury said on NPR this morning that she would love to see this be a benefit long term, because we also know when we lift children's lives out of poverty, we also benefit their families. Jason, before we move to the next question, do you think this is a viable benefit? I don't know what to call it, tax break benefit that we should take on long term?
It seems like it is something that we need to take on long term. And here's the reason why. The main issue we are having in this country overall is declining birth rates, which we've been having since 2008. And it's not just an American thing. It's just in the Western Europe world. You see in Japan and China as well, where people are having less children. Okay. What they want to do is, because of the cost of children, you have younger people who are saying, hey, I'm not going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, or might not even have children at all compared to previous generation because of the cost of having children. So this tax credit might stimulate the birth rates so we have more people giving children. The reason birth rates is so important is if we have less children, which means we're going to eventually have less adults, that means we're going to have less people paying taxes and generate revenue to pay for Social Security, Medicare, and things down the road. So it's highly important that we have more children because we always need more workers to feed the system. And if you don't have that, then you have another problem, which we're seeing in Japan. You see in China where they got rid of their one-child rule.
Policy. Yes, yes.
They got rid of it because less and less people are even having that one child. And they know that, hey, we need more than just one. We need 2 or 3 as well. So we're having this problem across the world right now where people simply is not having as many children as possible. And this tax credit is good, but there's in Europe and other places, they have way better programs for as taking care of daycare for people. Yes. In Japan, I believe they give people about around roughly $15,000 to have a child. So
yes.
They have better programs than we do because they're trying to entice people having more children, which they're simply not anymore.
And the family structure itself, the disintegration of that by not having children, and then that generational wealth, generational caring, all of these kinds of things are impacted by a lower birth rate. And then, of course, it impacts the financial status of that country.